welcome back. Let's get straight into it. I wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys about a situation. I just had a Zoom FaceTime meeting with a client. She was telling me about her situation that she had been dealing with over the past few years, all of the different techniques and things that she tried with manifesting, working with different YouTube coaches one-on-one. Nothing has worked for her. Something that she said to me, which is alarming, which I wanted to touch on, which I don't know if I've ever made a video about this, touching on this. A lot of you guys are not doing these techniques wrong. I repeat, a lot of you guys out here are not doing the technique wrong. How you do the technique isn't the problem. You gotta stop listening to these mother coaches and these mother YouTubers in the comments section telling you that you're doing something wrong, that you're not doing the technique right. I mean, what the literally, you have me talking off camera. I'm so angry. I can't stand this shit. Okay, we're back and I'm calm now. Hi, I'm Marvin and welcome to Marvin's Room. The real way you should go about manifesting is simply living in the end of the wish fulfilled. Nah, that. Yo, listen, literally for the 1,000th time that I've probably said this on my channel, how you're doing the techniques is not the problem. The problem is never the technique. Understand, techniques are literally there to help you try to get in the state of the wish fulfilled. Whatever that state may be, whatever you're trying to manifest, that's literally all scripting is used for. That's literally all visualization is used for. That's literally all affirmations are used for. That's literally what the 369 method is used for, which I've never did a 369 video. I'll probably never do a 369 video, but that method, the pillow technique, the whispering technique, I mean, any of these techniques that people say or that are created every single day, all of these techniques are literally used for one purpose and one purpose only, to help you get in the state of the wish fulfilled. It's up to you to choose which technique works best for you. But as far as who and why you're doing the technique, or as far as you're doing the technique wrong, in my opinion, you really can't do any of these techniques wrong. The real problem, the correct statement is not you're doing the technique wrong. The correct statement is you're simply doing the wrong technique for where you are currently at in your manifestation situation. Everybody's situation is different. You can't sit here and tell me when you close your eyes that you're visualizing wrong. Visualizing is a person by person thing. Everybody visualizes how you visualize. The way you visualize, the way you want to do your state akin to sleep might be different than the next person. If you want to do sats during the day, that's totally fine. If you want to do sats before lunch or during lunch, your lunch break, or if you want to do sats in the evening around 7 o'clock, that's fine. It doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I don't want to work with anybody else that tells me a YouTube coach or somebody in the comment section said you're doing it wrong. I don't want to hear that, because in this manifestation thing, there really are no rules. There are simply ways, and it's up to you to figure out which way works best for you. So a lot of this stuff, like I was saying, it's not that you're doing it wrong. It's simply you're doing the wrong technique. So when I was on this FaceTime with this person, I was saying to this person, you must not do X, Y, and Z because you're not ready for X, Y, and Z. See, the problem I have with a lot of YouTube people in the comment section or with some of these YouTube coaches is they literally have a one-size-fits-all approach to manifestation. When you come to me and work with me one-on-one, I don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, I know there are some YouTubers out there, they literally only have one method of manifesting. For instance, this person that I work with has told me she's gone to other coaches in the past. 4 years have passed, 4 years. And understand that some of these coaches that she went to, they only did one method. So for instance, you might go to a coach and this coach only prescribes affirmations. I only want you to do affirmations. That's all I want you to do. Or you may go to this other coach and this other coach may tell you, yo, I want you to only focus on this thing. Don't do nothing else, just focus on this thing. Me, that is not my method of working with people one-on-one. That is not my method of manifestation. I understand manifesting has a bunch of different tools in the toolbox. Like I said in one of my other videos in the past, depending on the person that I'm talking to or working with one-on-one, I will get that tool out specifically. I will get that tool out. I will will use that tool for them. Now, if I have 2, 3, or 4 tools, I may tell that person, yo, you want to do these 3, 4 tools in order this way. Then let them use those tools in that way. Or if I have this person that I'm working with over here, I may say, hey, listen, we have these 2 tools right here. I think only these 2 tools that you need. I think these are the only 2 tools that you need to help get your manifestation back. But I will never tell a person, yo, all I want you to do is do it this way. I only want you to affirm, 10,000 times, or I only want you to script 10,000 times. I will never do that because I understand from a common sense perspective, that is not going to work for everybody. You see, a lot of you guys get so caught up in wanting to get your specific person back. You go to these YouTubers and you go to people who you think you're going to get the best results from. You go to these people just because they have a huge following and just because you see people in the comment section saying,
yeah, it works. I did it. I got results in 24 hours. I got results in 3 days.
Not realizing that most people still aren't getting results, and not realizing, talk to that person 3 months from now, 6 months from now, see if they still have what it is that they manifested. Talk to them a year from now, see if they still have what they manifested, and I'll let you guess what the answer is. Because I've worked with people that have tried the popular way of affirming, affirm for 10,000 times a day. And guess what happened? They didn't get anywhere because of the law of reverse effort that Joseph Murphy talks about. The law of reverse effort. When you affirm something a bunch of times, guess what? You're most likely to see the exact opposite of what you're affirming. Or if you affirm something a bunch of times, it doesn't feel right. It makes you feel uncomfortable. You start getting sick. You don't feel well. You get headaches, etc., which is exactly symptoms that this person had that I was working with one-on-one from continuously affirming, and doing certain things like that, not realizing it's causing a psychological and emotional damage.
Emotional damage!
Making them even worse and more depressed from continuing to affirm. You guys gotta literally wake up. You gotta wake the up. I mean, I'm talking off camera again because I'm so fired up. Like seriously, you guys gotta wake up and stop letting people in YouTube comments, stop letting these law of attraction coaches tell you and make you feel bad by telling you, hey, you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to do it this way. You choose which way gets you in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You choose that shit. Close your eyes, visualize how you wanna visualize. Say affirmations how you wanna say them. Script how you wanna script. The technique is not the problem. You doing the technique at a certain time, you doing the wrong technique at a certain time is what the problem is. And this is exactly what I told this person when it came to her specific person. I asked specifically, I said, what did you do? I said, what have you done over the past 4 years? What have you been working on? I like to get a backstory of exactly what my person has gone through. I like to get a backstory of what processes have they done? How much do they know about law of attraction, law of assumption? So I don't waste their time in telling them what to do X, Y, and Z if they've already done said X, Y, and Z. So when I found all of this out from this person, I realized you've been focusing on the wrong thing this entire time. And it was a huge wake-up call and a light bulb moment, which she kind of already realized, but I confirmed it for her. What helped her confirm it and what helped her realize that part of it was seeing my Ho'oponopono video I made. The Ho'oponopono videos that I've been making over the past couple of weeks have been such a huge wake-up call to people to realize, like, oh man, this feels so good. Oh man, maybe I don't need to focus on this specific person's stuff. And this is exactly what I was telling this person. I told her, I said, listen, get rid of the guilt, get rid of the shame, whatever you have around doing certain techniques. I said, you are not doing any technique wrong. Don't listen to them when they blame you and say, oh, it's your fault. You're doing it this way. You should have did it this way. I said, no, you're not doing the techniques wrong. You can't do the techniques wrong. I said, what you're doing wrong is you are doing the wrong technique for your current situation. Meaning, if you're trying to manifest a specific person back and your emotions are all over the place and you're feeling a certain way, most likely you affirming a bunch of times is not going to work. If you're all over the place, or if your family or if your friends are like everything is crazy in your situation, or if you have something unresolved from your childhood or whatever the case may be, and you're trying to affirm or you're trying to visualize, most likely it isn't going to work for you when you're trying to manifest a specific person because you have too much baggage from your past. You don't believe it necessarily. I don't think people understand how hard it is to literally affirm, just say affirmations and then think that that shit's just gonna appear within 24 hours or 48 hours or 1 week or whatever time frame you're looking at. That's not realistic for most of the people watching this video. You're not gonna get your manifestation by doing it that way, especially in the beginning, especially if you have a ton of blocks. And that's exactly what I talked about with this person. Once I found out about the story, I said, you have so many blocks around your specific person. I told her, you have so much guilt in not feeling worthy from your childhood with your parents. I mean, I basically went down the line and told her everything. I said, you need to stop doing, like I told you guys earlier, techniques. I said, you need to stop doing all these techniques over here that people have been telling you to do, whether it's coaches or whoever in the YouTube comment section. You need to stop doing what they're telling you over here. And I said, you need to keep it simple. Go back to the basics. You need to only be focused on two things right now: revision and ho'oponopono. Period. That's literally the only thing you need to be working on, is those two things. You don't need to affirm for 10,000 times the entire day. You don't need to affirm 1,000 times every single day for the next month. I said, none of that stuff is gonna work. You know, and this is what people are doing. People think affirmations are this quick fix stuff, and affirmations and affirming is gonna get you what you want. Like I said, it might get what you want in the short term, but in the long term, it's not sustainable because you really haven't taken on a new identity. You really don't take on a new identity when you affirm unless it is impressed upon the subconscious mind. That's why people that affirm all throughout the day, that's why affirming never sticks, is because you're moving throughout the day in your beta brainwave state. You cannot move throughout the day in your beta brainwave state and think that you're gonna see change in your life. You're gonna see movement in your life. You cannot, because in order for you to see change, you have to be in your alpha or your theta state, because when you're in your alpha or your theta state, that's when things can seep into your subconscious mind and you can start to see change and you can start to believe. But when you're moving through beta and you're affirming 10,000 times a day, your subconscious mind isn't picking up on any of that. Your conscious mind is picking up on it, but it's not. Your subconscious mind is rejecting all of it. That's why I never believed, and that's why I never bought into it. And that's why I personally never was one of those people that affirmed a bunch of times throughout the day for anything that I wanted, because I realized the futility behind it. There's so much futility behind it when you affirm for 100 million times a day or in 1 month. Then people realize why they don't get results. And it's because your subconscious mind is not believing it. Yes, it's true that you don't have to believe it in the beginning. And yes, it is true that if you keep repeating it time and time again, after a while, yes, your subconscious mind will start to pick up on it. But I don't think what people realize is there's a very, very small percentage of people, which I stated in my last video, there's a very small percentage of people that this stuff actually works for that way. Most people, it's not gonna work for you that fast. And then you have people like this person I was working with and FaceTiming with, they do these techniques and they work with these coaches and they start feeling guilty and they say things like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. I must be doing it wrong because it's not working. I haven't gotten results. What am I doing? I need to stop. They're just saying the most, and they think that they're doing it wrong because year after year is going by and they haven't gotten results. And I tell them, no, it's not that you're doing it wrong. You have to figure out which 1 or 2 techniques works best for you. You have to figure out where your blocks are. I tell people all the time, especially when you're trying to manifest a specific person. Most people, in my opinion, when you're trying to manifest a specific person, you do not want to touch a specific person's stuff. I'm gonna say that one more time. Most people, when you're trying to manifest a specific person, you do not need to touch a specific person's stuff in the beginning. You do not need to repeat and say words like,
oh, my SP is constantly thinking about me. My SP is constantly obsessed with me. My specific person is constantly texting me right now. My SP is madly in love with me. My specific person adores me. He's gonna die for me. My specific person worships the ground that I walk on.
I mean, all of these crazy ass affirmations that people be saying over their specific person, I recommend people in the beginning of their journey never say any of those specific person affirmations. Never, because you are literally not in a place to be receptive to any of that, especially if you're gonna go through the state, like I said earlier in the video, in beta state, repeating all of those affirmations. You're gonna do more harm than good. Law of reverse effort, as I said, Joseph Murphy talked about, and you're gonna most likely end up seeing the exact opposite of what it is that you wanna see, which Florence Scovel-Shinn has mentioned in her book, because you don't believe it. If you want to do affirming should be done, in my opinion, the way Emil Clay talked about affirming, which is before sleep, when you wake up in the morning, or during sleep, when your subconscious mind is really active. If you are in those 3 time periods, then affirming a lot can 100% work because it makes sense. But when you are not in your alpha or your theta state, in my opinion, you shouldn't be doing no affirmations. You shouldn't just be walking around all willy-nilly throughout the week, throughout the days, and just affirming stuff about your specific person. It's not gonna work. You're doing more harm than good. Don't let the internet fool you. Like I've said 1,000 times and make you think like, oh, everybody's getting results. No, everybody's not getting results. And if they did get results, I guarantee you 6 months from now, a year from now, I guarantee you they're going to be right back at square one. So again, the technique that you're doing, the techniques, how you're doing it, that is not the problem. You're not doing these techniques wrong. You can't do a technique wrong. How can you do a technique wrong? Whenever you close your eyes, you're visualizing. Every time we close our eyes, we're literally visualizing something. We're not doing technique wrong. How are you scripting wrong? There's no way that you can necessarily script wrong. I don't understand it. All these people think that they're doing stuff wrong. You're not doing it wrong. What you're doing wrong is simply you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. In the beginning, when it comes to your specific person, most people, in my opinion, you should not be doing any specific person affirmation stuff. You should not be doing any visualizations around a specific person. You shouldn't be doing any scripting around a specific person. Most people in the beginning, when they're trying to manifest a specific person, a lot of you guys need to simply focus on self-concept, self-worth, self-love, period. And that looks like, to me, focusing on revision as well as ho'oponopono, because there's a lot of bad negative energy that needs to be cleared. There's a lot of things that needs to be forgiven on your end, and it all starts with you. You need to forgive yourself before you can forgive anybody else. You need to love yourself before you can truly love anybody else, which is why ho'oponopono is so powerful and effective in manifesting a specific person back, is because you're taking full accountability and you're first starting with yourself, telling yourself, I'm sorry, please forgive you, thank you, I love you. And then once you heal and forgive yourself and tell yourself I'm sorry, now that opens the gateway for you to forgive and tell another person, your specific person, that you're sorry and that you forgive them and that you love them. And then that opens the gateway for you to tell your parents, if you felt abandoned as a kid, now you can open up the gateway to tell your parents, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, and all of the above. But you cannot, most time, you cannot do that without first starting with yourself. You cannot love and forgive another person, really, in my opinion, until you love and forgive yourself. You need to be focused purely on yourself for probably, I'd say, at least the first 30 days. Focus on yourself and getting yourself right. And then once you get yourself right, then you can move on to specific person stuff and start doing specific person affirmations, whatever the case may be. If you are trying to manifest a specific person back, I recommend this. You should never do any SP stuff. Put yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the highest of self-love, 1 or 0 being the absolute worst of self-love. You should be at least a 5, in my opinion, on that scale if you want to manifest a specific person and start doing SP affirmations or SP visualizations or scripting for a specific person. Most people, in my opinion, you should 100% be at a 5 or higher on that scale before you touch any of that stuff. But see, where the problem lies is so many of you guys are trying to manifest a specific person when you guys are literally on a scale of 1 to 10, you guys are literally at a 0 or a 1 or a 2 when it comes to self-worth and self-concept. You're not going to manifest a specific person most likely when your self-concept and your self-love is on a scale of 0 or 1 or 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. Below 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 in self-love and self-worth and self-respect, you should not be trying to manifest a specific person at all. That is where the problem is. You should be doing self-love and self-concept work, in my opinion, if you are below 5 trying to manifest a specific person. If you are above 5, if you are at a 6, ideally you want to be at a 7 or 8. But if you are at a 5 or a 6, 7 or 8, yes, now I can say, okay, it may make sense for this person to maybe sprinkle in some specific person affirmations, maybe sprinkle in some specific person visualizations here and there. Until then, 80-20 rule or 90-10 rule, like I've talked about in the past in my videos. You should be taking 80% or 90% of your time to only do self-love, self-worth, self-concept work. 80-90% of your time should be dedicated to that, and then the other 10 or 20% can be dedicated towards specific person stuff once you reach that point. And I know there's going to be those coaches out there, or I know there's going to be those viewers that see this video and say,
oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know. Oh, look at his subscriber count. He doesn't have a lot of subscribers. I'm not going to listen to him.
hey, that's fine. But listen, keep going to those big top YouTubers that all they want is your money. Keep going to those top YouTubers where all they have is one method or one way that they use to help you try to get results that's not going to work for you. Because I just told you, this person that I'm working with, they came to me and they've literally worked with all of these YouTubers, all of these big YouTubers that have a ton of subscribers, and they got nowhere after all of these years. They still got nowhere. They didn't go anywhere. And then they came to me, and guess what happened? We all solved it. We came up with a game plan that made sense, figured out all the roadblocks, and now I'm excited because I know this person is going to get great results. That's what we're about on this channel, great results. I'm not about the fluff, I'm not about this, I'm not about that. I don't care about all the noise. I'm about great results. That's what we get on this channel. If you listen to what I'm saying, I guarantee you, or if you want to work with me one-on-one, I guarantee you, I get people love, and I get people to get their exes back, I get people to get their specific person back, I get people to get everybody back, because I'm him.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click the next one, because I'm sure you'll enjoy that one too.